let's make way for Marcellus Wiley. He worked at the mothership for 10 years. He's coming in clean here, coming in hot. He transitioned to Fox. Is that what it's called? You transitioned to Fox
Yeah,
Sports?
they try to highbrow it sometimes, you know.
Yeah. So got up early. He co-hosts the show Speak for Yourself, and now sharing his unique story. He's got a new book, Never Shut Up, The Life and Opinions and Unexpected Adventures of an NFL Outlier, and, of course, Columbia's finest, Marcellus Wiley. Good to see him.
I never heard that at the frat parties. That I was Columbia's finest. It was other guys on campus, but appreciate you, Dan.
Okay, but you come out of Compton and you end up at Columbia.
Yeah.
What was the other choice?
Big football factories, a lot of the typical recruiting. I was doing well on the football field in high school, so UCLA was high on the list. Cal Berkeley was a dream school, but the coach actually left and went to Arizona State, so that kind of changed my aspirations.
But you say to the boys in the hood here in Compton, and they go, "Hey, where you going to go play?"
Yeah, when I said Columbia, they're like, "Dude, you going to South America to play?" I was like, "Boy, if y'all don't graduate, get these GEDs out my face." It was just that kind of contrast, man. All the elders, the counselors, the teachers, their eyebrows raised when I said Columbia, and all of my friends, all my peers were like, "Dude, I don't even know what the hell you're doing, and you're not going to make it to the NFL." So I just had to deal with that dichotomy, made the long game choice, even though there were some sacrifices made.
But you didn't go to a good football team.
You noticed, huh? Yeah. Our history.
I mean, not even a good Ivy League team.
Yeah, it's weird. I didn't know the reputation. I didn't know what I was really walking into, the 44-game losing streak, worst reputation in college football. But I thought that was a challenge once I heard the story, because I never felt the story, so I didn't have to internalize it. But once I heard it, I was like, that's interesting. And my coach told me something that has stuck with me since. He said, "Do you want to go somewhere and carry the torch or go somewhere and light the torch?" And I knew I could have impact on a program like Columbia and maybe be the big fish in a little pond.
Let's talk about Le'Veon Bell. Everybody's got an opinion here. You played. If you were a Steeler offensive lineman,
I would have shut up. I would have never said a word, but I'm going to let that go.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't talk about someone else's money. It's just the code of the locker room, the code of any business sector I've been in. I just made that transition, right?
Yeah.
From ESPN.
You're a businessman now.
Right, and when you make the transition, my co-hosts weren't talking about what my next opportunities were. We were doing our job in that moment. Something that the Steelers now are forced to live through is let's focus on who's here. I don't understand why they didn't do that a month or two ago.
Well, let's say your contract is up at Fox at the end of the football season, and you say to Jason Whitlock, I'm going to sit out the rest of the season. I want to rest my vocal cords here.
Yeah.
I want to save it for my next contract.
Hey, you sound like my agent right now.
Okay.
Keep talking.
So how is that going to go over with the folks at Fox and Jason Whitlock, your co-host, that you got to sit out because I don't want to strain my voice I got to get my new contract here.
Yeah, well, you hit me where it hurts. I've had vocal cord surgery actually 2 years ago. So not exactly apples to apples, but look, we all know that candidly we have conversations that we don't air out to the public. Free agency in the NFL. Yeah, I knew some teams that were interested in me. Was it against the ethics of the league? Was it against the guidelines? Was I supposed to have that reported? Absolutely not. But things happen at 9:30 when your agent's at the combine before free agency. The same thing with Jason Whitlock. He would have to understand, I'm going to have one level of conversation with you, which is going to be explicit and candid. And then there's another level, which we're going to promote and project to the public, which is going to be the safe PC way. I don't understand it. This happens every day in the NFL. We know stuff that is occurring that we can't air out, but this was a situation they did.
Should we treat running backs differently?
Their shelf life.
Financially. Contract-wise.
It's a finite shelf life. I played running back my entire life until I get to the NFL, and they're like, dude, you're 280. There's no way. But at Columbia, beating up on Dartmouth like we did, yes, we did.
What?
Not really, not much. I'm not going to tell you the Dartmouth stories. They destroyed us every single year. But I got mine. You look at it, the running back position has just – it's almost devolved in terms of how valuable it is. Their shelf life is short. I played with some great running backs, Thurman Thomas, LaDainian Tomlinson, and they have to get it while the getting is good. And I respect those guys for that. And I respect Le'Veon Bell for what he's doing. It's a hell of a gamble. I mean, whoever is his financial advisor, you gave up 5 years, 70. You gave up 14 and a half. We have to add that to whatever you get going forward. Let's see if a team is that thirsty.
Is he better than Todd Gurley?
No. I think that he's more unconventional. His jogging to wait for opportunities and then exploit them is something that we haven't seen. That level of patience and waiting for the holes to open. Todd Gurley is a workhorse who has some of that, but he also has a horsepower that I don't think Le'Veon Bell has. I mean, you look at James Conner and what he's doing right now, no comparison to Le'Veon Bell, but by the numbers, just because he has a different level of horsepower, he's actually exploiting defenses in that system.
The fact that the Chiefs and the Rams have relocated to Los Angeles, it feels like we're getting closer to either being in London or Mexico City.
Yes.
Okay, if I said in the next 5 years, will there be an NFL team based outside of the United States?
Absolutely. And I think quietly there's some teams raising their hand, saying that we want to be out there. Whether you want to say maybe a Jacksonville. I hate to do this to my Bills Mafia, but even Buffalo may be in consideration. They were talking about Toronto when I was a Buffalo Bill, and I was in the late 90s. They have to keep pace with the NBA and its globalization of its game.
But would you want to live in Mexico City? Would you want to live in London if you were a player?
I would. I think about it. Like, you're in your early 20s. You got millions of dollars. You're going to see the world and show the world your talents. I know a lot of guys, Ivy Leaguers, who went overseas, NFL Europe. They love their experience, especially in your 20s when you're trying to figure things out, early stages of adulthood. You get to see more than just the typical. Absolutely. I know the logistics and the travel may be an issue, but the exposure sounds like it's worth it to me.
He's Marcellus Wiley, Fox Sports host, former defensive end, and his show is Speak for Yourself. He's got a book, Never Shut Up, The Life, Opinions, and Unexpected Adventures of an NFL Outlier. Do you still have a beef with anybody from when you played?
Beef?
Like, is there a carryover? If you see somebody, it's like if something's said or like it could be go time?
No, you know me, I'm fun-loving, man. I was one of the weird guys in the league. I laughed before every game. Like,
but anybody dirty to you? Cut
the entire Denver Broncos offensive line was dirty. Lincoln Kennedy wasn't dirty, but I thought it was unfair that he played the position I had to see 60, 70 times on Sundays. His arms, his biceps were like hamstrings, and it was like I was a man and he was a mammo. It was like, dude, what the hell are you doing out here? And this is the funniest part about football. We only focus in on the injuries and, oh my God, he's out there, he got laid out, whatever it may be. It's the 2nd and 6. And they get 2 yards, and we get up and line up back in the huddle, and it's 3rd and 4. No one knows that he just dislocated my finger. No one knows that he just punched me so hard that I actually thought about Vontae Davis and said, this is my moment.
You're going to quit?
Yeah, this is my moment. Right here between the huddle. I could get out of here, but the cameras are on. I mean, there's so many moments in football because for you to exercise a will to be greater and bigger than yourself, there's a lot of moments you're like, are you going to do it? There's a lot of moments of truth where if I don't do this, I could tap out right now. And football will challenge you to never tap out. And I think that's the beauty of it. But people never talk about the conversation you have with yourself about, am I going to run through that next wall?
What's the best story of all your broken fingers? Do you have a good story?
Well, I can tell you this one is funny because Bill Parcells, I'm in Dallas. Oh, my God, yeah. So
be careful when you hold that one up.
Yeah, this is no good. This is not a gang sign, y'all. This is just I left the Compton behind me. I'm playing in Chicago, and the lineman's running left. I see the cutback. I'm trying to go right. Back. This just tendons flying everywhere. This is just turns into this flamingo here, right? And I go.
That looks like a yoga pose. That's like downward dog or something there.
And so I head to the sidelines, and in my mind, I'm like, I know fingers are laughed at in the NFL in terms of injury. Where is it on the pecking order? So I knew I was going to still play. But the way, the disregard for my pain by Bill Parcells and others, it caught me off guard. So all they did was give me a bridge tape, they call it. They was like, oh, you'll be all right. Turn away, yanked it and pulled it. things started to crack again. And then from there, they taped it to the next one, poor healthy finger over here, and say, well, I'm dealing with him. So they're together, and then I go out there like this. And the rest of the game, I didn't touch the guy with my left hand. And then, obviously, I didn't have a great year in Dallas, and this is part of it. This is the reason.
It can't be fixed?
You know, they say you can have finger surgery and finger rehab. That just doesn't sound fun. It doesn't sound like the most manly thing I could do. Plus, I think it would get jammed up and messed up, and I don't think it will ever get back to normal.
Who was the craziest player you ever played against?
Rodney Harrison comes to mind. Like, you know how they always say you got to go to the echo of the whistle? Now, with Rodney, it wasn't just the echo of the whistle. It was the walk back to the huddle. You're like, damn, Rodney, the play is over 5 seconds ago. Pow. Like Rodney was so into the zone, and I loved him for that because that was another aspirational place, another wall to run through. Like, can I play with that level of intensity? I love Rodney for that. Still one of my best friends from the game. He was psycho. You know who else was psycho? John Henderson from Jacksonville, who used to get slapped every game before by the training staff. That was interesting.
Wait.
You don't know these stories?
No.
Oh, my God. This guy, 6'7", 330, and he would get so psyched up that he needed someone to slap him. And I'm not talking about like a nice little PC camera slap. I'm talking about full on, you talked about my mama, and you date my sister. Wow. And they would hit him so hard, and he would just say, oh, one more. And I'm sitting there like, I don't know what game you're about to play, but I don't want to be a part of that right now. And Chris Spielman, he used to walk around with smelling salts in his nostrils, one in each nostril, and walk around.
He'd leave him in.
Oh, he'll leave him in and walk around pregame. And no one talked to him, no one got in his way, and no one wanted to deal with him because Chris Spielman was next level. Yeah.
He was a little crazy, too.
Oh, yeah, big time, big time. I mean, he dislocated his shoulder one time and popped it back in and was like, let's keep playing. Next level stuff, bro.
Least athletic quarterback you ever played against?
Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe, all the Patriots, I guess. Dan Marino, ooh, at the end after the Achilles, that wasn't pretty.
Well, he wasn't fast to begin with.
Yeah, that wasn't pretty, but I came in when they were with the 7-step drop, sit back their statue. Hey, let me survey the field. And you can catch a lot of guys like that. They've changed it now, the specialty training, these one-on-one coaches, these gurus. No matter what your athletic base is, you can improve in the pocket. You can maneuver in the pocket. Even Brady has gotten much better in the pocket. Step here, step there. So usually the statues of yesterday were the worst.
Did you ever... Like that moment that a defensive player, right before you hit a quarterback, like in the back, like that, what is that moment like? It feels like it's only a split second, but it feels like you can almost see it in slow motion if you're the one who's going to hit this quarterback. Exactly. He doesn't know you're coming.
Exactly. It is in slow motion because the first thing you think is, I better not miss this opportunity. Then you're thinking, I'm about to send a message. Oh, my God. Like, you know, hide the wife, hide the kids. This is going to hurt. And then there's a moment where you're trying not to blink because you just don't want to lose sight of it. And then, I think my favorite one that I can still visualize is Bruce Smith was on the right edge, and he was coming around. And I see this from the video after the fact, but he's coming around, and he's going low on Peyton Manning. But I'm coming up high, 6'6" Peyton Manning, and I'm like, I'm about to get him. Oh, I'm about to get him. But Bruce gets there slightly before me, and he knocks Peyton down a peg. So I'm teeing off on, like, shoulder level, which now turns into head level, which turns into the neck, which turns into a $10,000 fine, which turns into Peyton Manning looking like, oh my God, and 4 surgeries later, I'm like, was this the domino effect? Was this the start of that? But there are moments like that where you just don't want to let slip through your fingers.
If you were starting your team, any pass rusher?
Current
or all time?
Oh, current or all time? Oh, now you're helping me. Bruce Smith. Why? Because Bruce could play over the nose, 3, play end. He has the most sacks in history. He had this unbelievable ability to run sideways as fast as you could run forward. What do I mean? When a guard tackle fans on you and you got that little space, you got to get skinny to get in there. Not only could he get skinny and turn his hips, but he can move upfield sideways faster than we could, sometimes running straight ahead. That and his hand-eye was the best I've ever seen. I may be biased because I got to see it every day in practice, every day in the games, but by far, I've never seen a technician like that.
How about current player?
Current player, Aaron Donald's hand combat is next level. Joey Bosa, when healthy, is a motor that I desired. You look at Khalil Mack, that's just an athletic base that has just been accented to a next level. Like, he's so powerful, so strong, so quick, so fast. Give me a combo, a Voltron of those guys, I'll take it.
If I gave you a healthy J.J. Watt or Aaron Donald?
Ooh, now you're cooking. Golly, J.J. Watt by just pure leverage and the levers. Whenever you have a guy with those extremities, like, he can just, it seems like, stand up straight and still touch the ground. That punch you can get, he's just a lot to deal with. It's funny you say when healthy. The comparisons were early for him. He had tremendous seasons, 20-plus sack seasons.
But is he a Hall of Famer right now?
I tell you, one Hall of Famer told me, as I'm on air giving J.J. Watt all the love and credit, he says, call me in 10 years when he does the same thing, because you have to be available. You have to be healthy. You have to be consistent. And I think that's what's undermined him right now. But for me, yes.
Do you want to hit somebody before you leave? Paulie.
Anybody go to Dartmouth?
Paulie.
Any Ivy Leaguers up here?
You ever heard of Jay Fiedler, former?
Yeah. Jay Fiedler was a beast.
Yeah.
Oh, Jay Fiedler wasn't a beast.
Oh, you didn't go to any Ivy League games, did you, Dan?
I did. I actually did a story on Columbia when they had that losing streak.
Oh.
I was at CNN in the mid-'80s, and I went to Columbia. One of the first dates I had with my wife.
Oh.
And I took her to Columbia, and she sat in the stands with like 9 other people. and we watched Columbia lose. Because I was going to do the story on the losing streak, and I'm thinking, I got a story either way. If you win, you broke the streak. But no, you guys lived up to reputation. You continue to lose.
It couldn't get any worse. Huh?
Did they retire your jersey at Columbia?
No, they haven't. Well, look, I know. I don't feel bad about that because, look, some of our alums, Bob Kraft is an alum. You got to respect that. There's a Sid Luck, man. Lou Gehrig. Like, I get it. Like, there's some names out there that I have not trumped, but
football-wise, I mean, it's not a long list of great players at Columbia.
No, Marty Domrez was a first-round pick.
Former Charger.
George Stark, one of the Hogs. Yeah, it'd be nice. I think I need to donate a little more. Maybe that'll help.
I'll leave you with this. I remember asking, was it Ice Cube? When I said, how would it go if I went into Compton? And he goes, brother's got cable. He said, you'll be fine. I always love it. Yeah, because I'm thinking, this is a long time ago.
So
I said, how would I do in Compton? Brothers got cable. They watch SportsCenter. I'm like,
right.
Okay.
You're damn right. We got cable. And one thing my people do, we watch some TV. So we're going to know Dan's in the house now. And sports, we got love for you, brother.
The show is Speak for Yourself on Fox. He's transitioned to Fox Sports. And his book is Never Shut Up, The Life, Opinions, and Unexpected Adventures of an NFL Outlier. He's that dude, Marcellus Wiley. Great to see you again, Marcellus. Thank you for coming in.
Guys, brother.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.